Yeah. Hello everybody, my name is Aida Kwadiemi. We quickly want to talk about good leadership. Now, of course, if we are going to take a look at leadership in terms of proper definition, of course, we should be able to define leadership as being a situation or condition or respect in which an individual, a qualitative individual and a quality leader with qualitative professionalism, qualitative ideas, qualitative mannerism, qualitative directiveness, and making use of all these encompassments to put people through, respectively the followers, and leading them to reasonable expectations. Now, good leadership, there should be corresponding knowledge for leadership. Before an individual be put in the position of leadership or position of power, he is supposed to be knowledgeable in leading people, and correspondingly he should be a good teacher, because as a leader is synonymously a teacher, because a leader is going to be viewed in certain areas of absorption of ideas, mentalities, reasonabilities, actions, examples. So because a leader is an example to the followers, so a leader should be a good teacher, and a teacher, a good leader, because a good teacher is in the position to be able to impart the rightful knowledge and should be able to induce learning in a positive manner. So it is quite essential for good leadership to be correspondent to good or proper knowledge. So a situation whereby a leader is not quite knowledgeable, is not reasonably knowledgeable, is bad. There is a difference between being educated and being knowledgeable. An educated person may decide not to be knowledgeable, because education most of the times, academic education comes most of the time with certifications, and most of the time, even people who have been in schools, people who know the scholars can agree with me that most times certifications comes with read and pass. So that's why some people will say the school pass through, some people school don't pass some people. So now, another thing is that because this leadership plays cumulative effects on society life, there is need be for good knowledge of the leader. And another fact is that a good leader should be able to guide the followers to be able to acquire knowledge, skills, and good attitudes. Now, as a leader is like a parent, a parental figure, or a guardian figure. So, a situation whereby the leader is not being able to guide the followers for the proper acquisition of skills, good attitudes, that comes a problem. Now, a good leader should also be service oriented. There are many leaders now across the world, so to say, that are just hungry to be in power, that they are thirsty to be in the seat of power for egotistic purposes. Seat of power is not supposed to be a seat egotistic reasons. The seat of power is a place where you are willing, you are hungry for people's survival, for people's well-being. That is what leadership curtails. That's what leadership is all about. Leadership is service oriented, not personal oriented. If you are being tasty to go for leadership for personal reasons, you are not competent. Because if you are competent, you should be able to use your wealth, your intelligence. Now we are going to go to that. Intelligence is quite directly proportional to the acquisition of wealth. A situation whereby a leader has been able to acquire wealth or been able to acquire high status, high social status, before he gets rich, getting into the political seat or seat of power, or whichever response of ideology that we are talking about in terms of leadership, such a person is not competent to be a leader. A good leader should be able to make use of intelligence to acquire wealth for himself. Now, if you are being able to acquire wealth for yourself with your intelligence, definitely we will have no fear. I, as a follower, as your follower, I will never have any fear, because your intelligence is proving that you can take me to an expectation ending or expected purposes. Do you understand? So now, if a leader is not if a leader is not service oriented, he will not be solution oriented. He will not be solution oriented. And if a leader does not have this proper knowledge, he will not be solution oriented. So that is another problem. And there should be appropriate measures of taking people into power. We are going to talk about those things later. There should be appropriate measures. You don't just take people into power because they have acquired wealth. How do you know how they have acquired their wealth? It is when Nigeria, now, I'm very sorry to mention, it is when the world at large is able to take proper measures, consider proper measures for leadership or for putting people into seat of power, that the world is going to be better. There are certain people, they have acquired their wealth. You are respecting the wealth. How did they come across their wealth? Is their intelligence proportional to their wealth? Or is their wealth proportional to their level of intelligence? Is their wealth proportional to their level of emotional intelligence? It's not only intellectual stuff that we're talking about. It's not only knowledge alone or having certifications or gathering certificates. Do they have emotional intelligence in leading people, in putting people through? A situation whereby a leader is not considerate, problems is going to set in the society, and there's going to be a lot of problems. You understand? Problems. And a good leader should be accountable. That is no doubt. A good leader should be accountable, and there should be mental clarity for a good leader. A good leader should be mentally sound. A good leader should be mentally sound. A good leader should not. Nobody is 100%, fit. Nobody is 100% fit health-wise. You understand? There will be one or two, but at least a good leader should have that mental clarity. A good leader should be comfortable in his own skin. A good leader should be able to relate with people in a very healthy manner. A good leader should be able to reason in a way that will not act like these are the set of people we are going to help. These are the set of people we want to. You understand? A good leader should have that mental clarity. A good leader should be prone to certain mental disorders. Yes, you should have the humility against those things. If you are not prone to mental disorders, if you are not prone to, if you are not prone, you have no problem in leadership. So if a leader is not immune against certain mental disorders, not having the mental clarity, definitely is not having the mental clarity, because ordinary reactions to you can affect you, can have control over you. So he doesn't have control over himself. So definitely somebody who doesn't have mental clarity cannot have control over himself, and somebody who doesn't have control over himself, what do you expect? Is he going to have control? Is he going to be able to do the proper thing for administration? Imagine being an administrative position. Imagine, for that matter, somebody who cannot control himself. So that is actually very bad. And a good leader should have fast response towards people's problems. A situation whereby there is altercation or problems or any kind of economic crisis in the system, a good leader should be able to do fast response. Yes, that is the essence of being a good leader. And a good leader should be able to be patient and considerate. Of course, we are talking about that. Intelligence is quite important. A good leader should be able to promote learning. We have talked about that. And provision of food is quite very important. A good leader should be able to provide food for the followers, because food is quite very important. It's part of basic amenities. It is a right. Yes, feeding is a right. If we are going to take a look at the universal concept of human rights and the regular laws that govern the whole world at large, a good leader knows that the followers has the right to certain, at least minor percentages for at least feeding for livelihood, for the followers' livelihood and well-being. It is quite very important to take note of that. Please let us take note of that. And provisions of basic amenities is quite very essential. A good leader should be able to provide basic amenities for its citizens at large. A good leader should be able to reason that I'm supposed to at least there should be potable water from probably 100 meters apart. If they cannot bring it into people's homes, at least 100 meters apart, from certain junctions to roads and stuff. A good leader should be able to reason in that manner. A good leader should be able to feel public need. Should have the public need. And another very important part of what we are talking about is providing good education. A good leader should be able to give free education for his followers, for the citizens. A good leader should be able to provide free education, because in accordance to articles that govern education, constitution, education, legal backings, legal proceedings for citizens. According to the universal concept of human rights, education is the right of every citizen. A good leader should be able to provide free education for the citizens. Quite very patriotic. If he is patriotic, he should be able to do that. All this shouldn't be a problem for him within his administration. Thank you very much. Once again, my name is Aida Badiemi. Hope to see you again in some other reasonable talks.